and make it 11 wins in a row. And that race is due off in just a few minutes' time. Also tonight, we have a fascinating interview with Chris Lloyd. Just occasionally, the Surrey housewife, popping round to the local corner shop.
People let you do that without...
They let me, yeah. I wear my glasses, you see.
And the children
and they look at me and they say,
yeah.
"Hi, Chris." Nice try, but we recognize you.
And we look ahead to next Wednesday's European Cup final by recalling 21 years of Liverpool in Europe. While we're on the subject of football, a word now from Bryan and Bobby Robson following England's 1-1 draw in Helsinki this afternoon, a result which leaves England unbeaten in Group 3 with now only 3 home matches to play. They've been talking to Tony Gubber.
Bobby, your reaction to the result? I'm quite pleased. I mean, I'm quite satisfied. I mean, obviously before the match I would have said a point lost here wouldn't have been good enough for us, but when the first goal went in against us early on in the game, we find ourselves now in quite a different match in the middle of May away from home. Different game altogether. We weathered the storm. It was a little rocky during that particular period, but our experience saw us through. We then took a bit more of control of the match. We made enough chances to have won it. We've continued to pick up the points, and I'm quite eminently satisfied.
The pitch is small here, and it wasn't in very good condition, so it wasn't really a passing pitch. It was all about having to try and hit the forwards and just support. So it wasn't the best pitches, but I don't really want to make that as an excuse. I think we still had a few situations where we maybe could have scored goals. It never helps when you let the opposing team score in the first few minutes like we did. So it was an uphill battle from there.
With an eye on Saturday in that important game against Scotland, which is always a hard one, would you envisage any changes from the team that we've seen play here tonight?
Not too many. We've got 1 or 2 with some nasty bangs and some heavy bruises, because it was a bruising, rugged game. I mean, they've done very well, I think. Finland have done quite well.
Celebrated like a victory.
Yes, yes, indeed. But England v Scotland is always one of the biggest matches in the calendar year. No, I shan't experiment with that. If I can put out what I consider to be just about the strongest team, I will do so. Try to remain unbeaten in an international year, which has gone really quite well, reasonably well, quite satisfied with it.
Scotland always fired up the England game, but that'll be a tough game again, but you know, we'll be looking forward to that. At least it's a nice pitch, and you can get out there and play football, and there's no excuses up there. You know, it's all about which team plays better on the day, and hopefully it'll be us.
And the result for you now of another important match, this one played tonight. It's the UEFA Cup Final, second leg. Real Madrid 0, Videoton 1, and Real Madrid win the UEFA Cup 3-1 on aggregate. That's their 7th European trophy. The other 6 were all in the European Cup. Well, as you may have heard on the news, Manchester United's Kevin Moran is to get his Cup winners' medal after all, despite being sent off in Saturday's final against Everton at Wembley. Well, now it's time to concentrate on the final of our BBC Greyhound Television Trophy. Just before we meet tonight's 6 finalists, let's see how they qualified from last week's heats. Still Kalmar the favourite. Gives a job, is chasing hard. The first 2 qualify. Here comes Denford Sam, the one we thought might not stay on. That's the one chasing Kalmar now. Kalmar the favourite being rapidly overhauled round the last bend as they come into the straight. It's still Kalmar just holding on. Kalmar comes to the line with Glenford Sam, and the favourite wins. Skurlow Champ is still well at the back of the field, but they've got another lap to go after they cross this line for the first time. The leader is Glyn's Laird. Then comes Western Prince, and here comes Skurlow Champ now into 3rd place and beginning to catch the 2. He's had a bump round that bend. Had a bump with Western Prince, but now he's moving down the back straight like an express train. Look at the speed of this greyhound in the second half of the race. It's going to be 10 in a row unless he falls over. Skurlow Champ coming around the final 2 bends, a mile in front. Nothing will catch it. He must be 10 lengths clear. What an extraordinary greyhound this is. He's paralysed the whole field. Over goes Skurlow Champ. It's still Go-Go Tiger. Here comes Saucy John moving up on the inside of Sierra Madre, making a good move. Can Go-Go Tiger hold on? No. Saucy John is coming round the inside of the bend, goes to the front by 2 or 3 lengths. This one's got pace like Skurlow Champ. This is the one who's won his last 4. He's going to make it 5. Over the line goes Saucy John, a clear winner. And now to recap for you those 6 finalists together with their trap draw for tonight. In trap 1 is Kalmar, in 2 Saucy John, in 3 Glyn's Lad, 4 Glenfort Sam, 5 Skurloak Champ, and 6 Go-Go Tiger. And our first betting show now comes from Jerry Monk.
Right, you won't see many shorter price favourites in this, Harry. Skurloak Champ 5 to 1 on, Kalmar and Saucy John 8 to 1, Go-Go Tiger 12 to 1, Glenfort Sam and Glyn's Lad 16 to 1.
8 to 1 bar the favourite. Right, let's meet them all in close-up. Now starting with the greyhound who'll be on the inside of the track wearing the red jacket. This is Kalmar, the only bitch in the race and the oldest competitor in the final. She was whelped in October 1981. The winner, as you saw, of Heat 1 last week by a length and 3/4 from Glenfort Sam. She used to hold the track record here with 52.39 until Skurloak Champ beat it last week with 51.8. So she knows and likes the track, and she could run very well tonight. The Irish-bred Kalmar in trap 1. And then in 2, wearing the blue jacket, Saucy John, trained privately by Terry Dartnell near Staines. This was the winner of Heat 3 from Go-Go Tiger last week, and in fact has now won his last 5, which is a pretty good record, but I'm afraid pales into insignificance against the record of Skurloak Champ. But nonetheless, this is an outstanding stayer and could well be very, very prominent indeed tonight. This is another Irish-bred greyhound, number 2, Saucy John. And in 3, wearing the white jacket, we have Glyn's Lad, trained by Kenny Linzell at Walthamstow. This is a dog, and finished second in Heat 2, 13 1/4 lengths behind Skurloak Champ last week. Now, he was a late replacement in the heats last week. He came in as a substitute, ran extremely well, as you've seen, and here he is now in the final. Obviously fast away, but what's he going to do if Skurloak Champ gets near him again? Glyn's Lad, wearing the white jacket, number 3. And then in 4, in the black jacket, Glenfort Sam, another dog. Second in Heat 1 last week behind Kalmar. Now, last week the experts were stressing Glenfort Sam's early pace, but doubted his stamina. But nonetheless, he stayed on extremely well behind Kalmar. For a small dog, he only weighs around 60 pounds, which is the sort of weight you'd associate with a bitch rather than a dog. Irish bred, Glenfort Sam in 4. Wearing the orange jacket, here's the new star, number 5, Skurloak Champ, an astonishing greyhound. Won Heat 2 in record time last week with 51.8 and beat the old record of Kalmar by over half a second, which is an enormous margin in greyhound racing. He's now won 10 in a row. He holds 6 track records, and his record, including his races in Ireland, is 26 wins in 33 appearances, 5 second places and 2 thirds. He's never been worse than 3rd in any race. An astonishing greyhound, owned and trained by Ken Peckham in the village of Feltwell near Thetford in Norfolk. Number 5, Skurloak Champ. Will he come from behind to beat them all again? And finally, in the outside trap, wearing the striped jacket, number 6, Go-Go Tiger, trained by Kenny Linzell at Walthamstow. Mr. Linzell's second finalist, as a matter of fact. Second in the heats behind Saucy John, and has now achieved 4 wins from his last 6 races, and that includes a track record at Rye House over 670 metres, somewhat shorter than the distance he has to run tonight. Has got good early speed. He's the youngest in the final. He's also the biggest greyhound in the final. He was whelped in October 1982. So there are the 6 finalists for this 26th running of the Greyhound Television Trophy. The winning owner will take away £3,000 plus the trophy. They run on sand here, over 850 metres, which is just under 2 laps of the track. A very low show of betting just come in.
It's still 5 to 1 on Skurloak Champion. Kalmar and Saucy John at 8 to 1. Glyn's Lad 20 to 1. Go-Go Tiger and Glenfort Sam at 25 to 1.
And virtually no money at all being taken on Skurloak Champ. It's too short a bet for anybody. There goes Saucy John, one of the fancied other runners, going into box number 2. Into 3, the white-jacketed Glyn's Lad. Kalmar, number 1, is already boxed. Number 4 is going in, black dog in a black jacket, Glenfort Sam, who's won 24 out of 61 races. Here's the hot favourite, Skurloak Champ. Last week he got out 3rd from the traps, which was surprisingly quick for him, and then, amazingly, dropped back to last place before they got to the first bend. And the first bend is only some 40 metres or so from those traps. So they're all in from the inside. Number 1, Kalmar, 2, Saucy John, 3, Glyn's Lad, 4, Glenford Sam, 5, Skurlow Champ, and 6 is Go-Go Tiger. The 26th running of this famous event, 815 metres, just under 2 laps of this track. Can Skurlow Champ make it? 11 wins in a row. Who's out first? And the first out is Kalmar. Kalmar goes clear to the bend from Saucy John. Saucy John on the outside trying to get to the front, and at the back is Skurlow Champ, the hot favourite. And he's a good 2 lengths behind the 5th dog. They're going down the back straight for the first time, and Saucy John takes the lead round these 2 bends. He's going in front of Kalmar now. It's Saucy John from Kalmar. Then comes Saucy John. It's Go-Go Tiger's moved up to the front now as we go over the line for the first time, and Skurlow Champ is moving up. He's in 3rd now. He's been bumped at that bend. He's still coming, and he's coming between Go-Go Tiger and Kalmar, and now he's on his way home. Have you ever seen anything like it? Skurlow Champ being cheered on by this big crowd of Wolverhampton. He's coming into the final 2 bends. He's 6 lengths clear. Nothing will catch him. Skurlow Champ, he made his way between 2 other runners, and he's absolutely walked it. Skurlow Champ, 11 in a row. People throwing paper in the air. 2nd is Saucy John. 3rd is Kalmar. And back at the back of the field was Glyn's Lad. So Skurlow Champ has done it again. This is a truly astonishing greyhound. He was last going into the first bend, and he waited, almost as though he knew what he was doing. He waited until he got into the finishing straight for the final time. And we can see it all again. Now watch how he gets out. In fact, he doesn't get out too badly, but he doesn't seem to want to go up with the honours. He gets slightly bumped, the dog in the orange jacket. Skurlow Champ gets bumped there going around the first bend and falls back quite clearly to last. At the front is Kalmar from Saucy John. Glyn's Lad is up there, so is Go-Go Tiger. And Go-Go Tiger's the one who's making the impression as they come down the back straight. Kalmar, Go-Go Tiger, then Saucy John, then Glyn's Lad, then Glenford Sam, and at the back at this time is still Skurlow Champ. They're rounding into the what will be the final 2 bends next time round. Go-Go Tiger leads, coming into the home straight for the first time. Inside him is Kalmar, and inside Kalmar is Saucy John. And this is where Skurlow Champ begins to make his effort. As he came over the line for the first time, he's reached 4th place. He moves into 3rd, I think, going round these 2 bends here. There was a bit of a bump here, I thought, first time round. They're all very much close together. And as they go down to the back straight, so this amazing dog comes between Go-Go Tiger and Kalmar on the inside, weaves his way between the 2 of them, and then heads for home and increases his lead all the way. He seems to me to have a stride about twice as long as anything else in the race. Absolutely stretching out as he goes for home, increasing the lead all the time. So Skurlow Champ, who is not yet 3 years old and won't be until July, has won the 26th BBC Greyhound Television Trophy in really great style. And 2nd, see that paper go up in the air that I mentioned first time round. 2nd was Saucy John, and 3rd was Kalmar. Well, the presentation will be made a little later on by Bob Willis, the former England cricket captain, to the winning oak. And here is the SP for those for that Greyhound Trophy final. First from trap 5, Skurlow Champ, 5-1 on favourite, and 2nd trap 2, Saucy John, 6-1. Well, after that, let's turn to a little bit of football now. Next week in Brussels, Liverpool face Juventus in the European Cup final, an event in which Liverpool have never known defeat. 4 previous finals, 4 wins.